what's up? Monica here. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing great. So in today's video, we are going to learn about a very interesting topic, that is dynamic forms. So if you want to learn how you can use dynamic forms in flows, how it is less time consuming and how you can take benefits of it, then keep on watching. But before that, if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, click on the subscribe button below, will be awesome. Now let's dive straight into the video. Okay, so let's go to flows and create a new flow to check how dynamic form works. Let's click on the new flow button. And we will select screen flow because it is a screen flow element. Now let's add a screen component here. And in today's example, I'll show you first how you can add a dynamic form to create a case, and second how you can add a dynamic form to update a case. Okay, so now in this field section, if you'll go, you can see it is asking for a record variable. Once you provide a record variable here, it will understand that you want to update the fields or you want to create a new one, like you want to update the existing case or you want to create a new one. Okay, so now first we are doing the creation part. So let's create a new variable here of the object case. Let's name it case record. Case object variable, and data type will be record, of course, and for object we will select case. Case, and let's click on done. As soon as you will provide a record variable here, you can see all the fields that we have in the case object here. Okay, so what is the use of dynamic form? Now you can directly drag and drop these fields to the canvas, and you don't have to externally adding the you don't have to add the input type or the text fields or the email field by yourself. You just have to drag the fields and it will come with their data type, with their validations and all of that. Okay, so we are skipping that work with the dynamic forms. Let's say we want to add case origin. Let's add case subject. So we are just dragging the subject. Otherwise, what we will need to do, we will add input type and we will add the subject, and after that, if there is any validation, we will add that also. But here we can directly drag and drop the elements. Let's add description. Status. Okay, let's add status here. And that is it, we are good to go. Now let's click on one component and see its detail. When I'm clicking on subject, here on the right side you can see all the field information, like the object is case, field type is this, field name is this, data type also, which you have selected in the object, that you will see here. If that is required, it will show yes, otherwise no. Update compatible, yes. Create compatible, yes. That means we can update and create this field. Okay, now here's the option set field visibility, which is like normal option which we get otherwise as well, so there's nothing new here. And if we'll click on description, here's the data type is long text area, so it is showing long text area. And that is how we can just drag and drop elements in the dynamic form, and we just don't need to create a new input type or a new email text box. Okay, now here let's say status is a pick list, so it will show the data type pick list and required no and all the other required information. Okay, now let's just give the screen a name. Create case, and that's it. Let's click on done. So here we have added a screen element in which we have added a resource variable for case object, and we have added some of the fields from the case object itself. Okay, now after that, what we have to do, we have just taken the dynamic form. A user will fill this form up, but we have to take a create record element let's take a create record element. With help of this create record element, we can insert the case into the Salesforce database. Okay, but now here's the good thing. Let's name it create case. Okay, one case, of course. And now here, otherwise, if we are just creating a form like adding the input field, adding the email fields, after that, if we will take the create record element, what will happen is we have to like map every field individually, right? But here, because we have taken the record variable in the previous screen, now everything the user has entered, it has saved in the record variable. Okay, so we just have to add the record variable here, which is case record, and that is it. Now, if you will run this flow, if you will add this flow to a page, it will create a case for you. Okay, now let's just save it and name it dynamic form create example, just so that we can remember it by its name, and let's activate it. After activating, we will go to a Lightning app which I have created for the flow examples, and we will add the flow there, and from there we can just create a case. Name is flow series. Okay, so here's the flow series app that I have created earlier. Now we will add our flow here. We are here in the app builder. Now from the app builder, let's search flows, drag and drop it here, and let's add our flow name, which was dynamic form create example. Let's add it and let's save it, activate, save. Now let's go back to our app and see if our flow is there. So yeah, here's our flow which we have created. Now as you can see, we just drag and drop the case origin and the pick list came by itself, and same as that the status pick list came by itself. So that is the benefit of dynamic form. Now let's add a subject, add it with dynamic form. And let's set the status new, and let's click on next. So that is it, because on the next button we have not shown any success screen, so it is refreshed to the previous screen. Now let's go back to cases and check if our case is there. Cases, and yeah, here you can see the case that we have just added with dynamic form. So that's how you can use dynamic forms to create any record in the database of any object. Okay, now let's go back to our flow and try the edit example. Let's go to setup, close, and let's create a new flow in which we will update the case. Okay, so we will take a screen flow again, and we will take a screen element. Okay, so here again we will go to fields, but now what we will do is we want to update the case. Okay, so for updating a case, we will not create a new variable of just a case. We will instead get the case that we want to update first. Okay, so for that we will take a get record element, and for getting the case we will add this flow to the case details page, so that we can get the record ID of the case and we can update that case only. Okay, so let's say get case record, object will be case, And for the condition, we will add ID, which means case ID equals to, let's create a new resource with the name record ID, variable record ID, data type text, and available for input. Okay, so in this record ID, we will get the ID of the case from the case detail page, and let's click on done. So in this get record element, we have that case that we want to update. Okay, now we will take a screen element, and we will go to fields. Now here in the record variable, while we were creating a case record, we created a new record variable for that. But now we are updating an existing record. So we have to provide the source record that we need to update. So the source record we get in the get record element, we will provide it here. And same as the create one, as soon as we provide the record variable, we can see all the fields here. Now let's just drag and drop the fields here. Case type, case status, and let's add description as well. Okay, now let's name our screen and just click on done. Update case. Let's click on done. Now after that, we have our dynamic form which will update the case. But for updating and updating the database, we need to take the update record element, of course. Let's take the update record element, update case, update the case, let's say. Now here also we don't need to map every field individually, we just need to add the record collection variable, because all the updated information will be here in this record collection variable by the dynamic form. So we just have to add the name here, and let's click on done. And let's add a success screen here. Here we will just add a display text. Success, and let's write here your case has successfully updated. Okay, let's give the screen name success screen, and let's click on done. Now let's just quickly save this and activate the flow. Dynamic form update example. Okay, and after activating, what we'll do is on the case detail page, we will add an action button on which this flow will appear, and we will do all the work that we want. So let's go back to case object and add an action button. Okay, now from here we will create a new action on the case object. Action will be flow, and here we will select our flow dynamic form update example. Let's name it dynamic update and save it. And from here we will edit the page, and in the page builder we will add the dynamic action button. So let's click on here, and here you will see all the buttons that are already there. 5 will be visible, and all of that will be in this down arrow. Now let's add our button. Let's click on add action. Here you will see dynamic update that we have just added, and click on done. Now let me just drag it to the top so we can see it properly. Here, and let's just save it. Activate. Let's go back to our case detail page and see if dynamic update is there. Yeah, we can see the button is here. Okay, now let's just click and see if our flow is working fine. So that is our flow, and here it is. These are the fields that we have added in the dynamic form in the update flow, and you can see here the details are already filled because we have added the record ID. Now because the details have already filled and our flow has the record ID, it knows that it has to update the data instead of creating a new one. Okay, now let's just change the name updated with dynamic form so we know that it's working. Okay, let's change the type to mechanical and let's click on next. Here we have added a success screen also, which is here. Your case has successfully updated, and let's click on finish. After that, you see we don't need any refresh. You can see the name changed here. So that is how you can update the data with dynamic form. You can create the data with dynamic form. What is the benefit? The benefit is that we don't need to externally add or additionally add any validations or like required fields or data types. Okay, it is already there. We just have to add the object there like a record variable, and then we just have to drag and drop to get all the fields that we want. Also one more advantage that I feel there is we can choose only the necessary fields. Like sometimes there's too many fields in the object that we want the user to fill, but only like 4 fields are mandatory for like the base level. Okay, so what we can do is we can create a dynamic form, and in that we can just add those 4 fields for like a easier process, you can say. Okay, so the user can easily create a case or easily create an opportunity, whatever on the object you're working on. So that was today's example. I hope you found this useful. I'll see you super soon in my next video. Till then, bye bye, take care and keep learning.